Welcome to the Smack Happy Design Videocast, where we explore all things web and marketing. With your hosts, Nicole and Danielle.
Hi, welcome to episode number 23. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Danielle.
And I just want to remind our audience that we'll be taking some notes for you. So if you want to just sit back and relax and listen, you can download those notes at smackhappy.com/videos. Today our guest is Paula Mattisonsierra of Power Marketing SF and Offsite Marketing Department. Welcome, Paula.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on, by the way. I'm excited. Number 23.
Yeah, woohoo. So introduce yourself a little further for our audience, please.
My name is Paula Mattisonsierra, as you guys heard from Nicole. I run a company called Power Marketing SF. It's an offsite marketing department here in San Francisco, but we have clients all around. I've a serial entrepreneur. I used to teach at the college level. I worked at corporate in marketing myself, so my experience and my base does come from a corporate level. I went to school in New York. I know a lot of my friends were actually leaving town to go somewhere else to go to school, and I'd always wanted to be in business myself. It was just my thing. So why leave the center of the business universe, New York? So it was like the best thing ever for me. And, I can't say enough to folks, whether you have a business or you're in corporate or you're in college listening to this, to get yourself mentors, because I have to tell you, those mentors were the ones who really pushed me along in my career and taught me things and pointed out things that I wouldn't have normally have seen. And it was a blessing. I have so much gratitude for it, and of course I come from a family where, everyone is doing something. It's like, we're very self-reliant folks. My mom also ran her own business I grew up in Jamaica. She ran her own business when we were in Jamaica and took care of 6 kids by herself when she was here, finally moved here doing the same. And I just got used to the way small businesses were run, and I really wanted to bring that corporate experience to the smaller guys. And so that's how the Offsite Marketing Department was developed, because I really feel that small business owners, seasoned small business owners, should get that kind of corporate institutionalized assistance. So, and that's where I am.
Awesome.
Great background.
Thank you.
Great advice from the mentors. I wish I would have had more mentors as I was coming up through business stuff, but I have them now. So it's never too late.
True.
But so many of us, I think the American push is do it by yourself, work really, really hard. And it's just not the way you succeed. You need to have a team around you.
Yeah. Definitely enjoy the tribe.
Completely.
Sure.
The tribe. I love that. Yeah.
So I know one of the things that's important to you as a marketer, or what you kind of try to instill in your clients, is tying your marketing to your operations, which is what we wanted to talk about with you today.
Oh yeah.
So tell us a little more about this. How should they tie together? What does that mean?
Well, so often I think people get thrown off sometimes when they bring me in and I say, the questions that I ask aren't the questions that they expect from a marketer. They expect, what's the website looking like, the graphics, going straight to the mechanicals, the marketing mechanicals. And really at the end of the day, you need to backstep a little bit, even further past the target audience. Well, I guess the target audience is really the base of the way you're going to run your business. They're giving you all of the information, who they are, what they want, what their needs are, dislikes, and really you need to just get comfortable with them. But once you do that, in order to build a business appropriately, your operation needs to be structured appropriately to service those clients, and also to take on the activities of marketing, and also to take on the activities of managing those people in-house who are going to service your target audience. So it's all a really nice bundle together. And so when I come in, I'm asking every other question, but what's your staff like? Are they properly trained? Do we need training? Do they understand what the brand is like, the brand message is like? Do they understand uniquely who your target audience is? I mean, really getting a granular understanding of who the client is. So looking on the staffing side, because they have to service. And let's say, let's give an off kilter to my area. Let's say we're doing an AdWords campaign for a client. Yay, let's do an AdWords campaign. However, when those phone calls come in through Google, and they will, because Google does do a phenomenal job, who's going to pick up the phone? Are the staff that you have in-house, are they properly trained, let's say, to pick up those phone calls appropriately? Or are the phone calls going to go into oblivion? Do you not have enough staff? I mean, I've seen that happen where, well, let's just spend the money because that's what everyone else is doing. And let's say you do have all of those things, but let's look at the production side. Let's say you're a service business, yeah? And you have all of this great product coming out, but you've given us all of this push to do marketing, right? And so now we did our job and all of the flood has come to you, and now you're having a problem servicing and supplying the product because your production and your marketers didn't have a proper conversation. So that's really just one couple of examples. So, people think about marketing sometimes as being completely separate. Like, oh, let's come up with great ideas. Let's just go straight to Nicole and get the gorgeous, graphics and the website and all. Let's just do that really quickly. But you can't sidestep all of these other things that must happen in the process, so yeah. And so that's really, and I can go on if you want me to. But it's so really when I come in as a marketer, I actually stop my clients really quickly and say, what exactly is it that you want to accomplish? And they give me their objectives. And then I go back and go, okay, is your insurance set up appropriately? Okay. What's your business structure looking like right now? We're going into growth mode. We have these new desires for the company. Is that structure in line with where you need to be now and in the future? Because again, let's say that you are planning to bring in a ton of new staffing, or you want to make an alliance with someone. Remaining as a sole proprietor may not be the place to be right now. And even the corporate structure that you currently have may not be in line with your next steps of bringing that partner in. Again, I'm not a tax expert, but your the tax payments that you're going to be making is going to be very tied to how your structure is set up, and also what I'm allowed to do and not to do. So if you told me, let's make a great arrangement with another larger company, let's sign licensing, let's do all of this stuff to get our message out, to grow our revenue, but your business structure is not in line with that, that's not helping. So very often, like I said, a lot of business owners are very surprised when I say something like, let me give you these items that we've discussed. And perhaps you should take the next step and go to your attorney and have a conversation with them. Maybe have a conversation with your insurance person. Maybe bring in someone who can retrain your staff, or who can recruit someone in, or take a proper look at the group that you have in. Sometimes we start off with these wonderful staffing folks who, the part of the team, they're fantastic. However, they don't have the tools to go to the next level. So let's look at where they are. Let's make sure that we're training them, supporting them for success, but make sure that we're bringing in those next level folks that can help, so that when we start with our efforts, all of the items are in there. But let's give a really small example to, let's say, someone in San Francisco, they run a store. It's kind of a hot store in San Francisco. Everyone loves going there. They love going there to shop. But we've all been to that store, right? Where They're doing this wonderful marketing effort, social media effort. They're getting their message out there. People are excited. They're going in. And then you go in and the staff is crap. And you just hate being there. You just don't even want to give them money because the service level is so horrible, right? That's a business owner not looking at their entire structure when starting marketing. And it's little things sometimes that you can do and look at. But, you know, we get so used to being in our tunnel and getting to the next step. You know, so marketing isn't this island sitting there by itself. And in fact, none of the things that we do to run our businesses are islands by themselves. They're all part of a very tightly wound team, tribe, if you, you know, Danielle.
Sure.
I know, right? It's all part of the tribe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I always think of it as, you know, it's like, okay, if you, I mean, even your finance, let's say the financial area isn't set up appropriately. I have one client who, when the rush started, by the way, there wasn't proper credit card processing set up. There's, you know, so when folks called through the website, that wasn't a payment website, but they called the store directly and they wanted a purchase and that wasn't set up. And how do we do shipping? And nothing was thought, it wasn't thought through, you know? So look at your goals is going to be my first suggestion to you. Look at your goals that you want to achieve with marketing. What is it that I'm going to spend these marketing dollars? And what is it that I want to achieve? Now, we don't want to just look at those goals independently. They're separate. We want to take those goals now and break them down. How am I going to make that specific goal happen? And not just on the marketing activity side of what I need to do, but what do you need to do to help those dollars move forward and to help me when I come to you and say, oh, we have to do, you know, we're going to do a promotion in your store or in your restaurant or in your spa. Or, you know, we're going to try to support your sales staff more. Let's say you're business to business. Let's do more to support your sales staff to get them out there to pitch better business. You know, all the things that you need to do it's not just on our side as marketer, but take a peek at what you need to do and break those down. So before you spend the dollars with me, I'd say halt, stop, time out, don't do it. Don't spend those dollars until you sit down and look at your side.
It almost sounds like part of what you do is business coaching.
I try not to at all, but it's, you know, I've started a few businesses myself and I've had some wonderful successes and I've had some great failures. And, you know, and so I kind of bring that to the package. But at all times, I remind them that I'm on the marketing strategy side. And when they need that deep dive, because sometimes it's bigger than me, you know, sometimes it's a mindset issue that they need to get past, that things that they need to change. And I have a lot of great referral partners that I like to refer them along to, you know, so that they can, once we've gone through it and seen what some of the major problems may be, they can take that and sit down with their business advisors or life coaches and break that down into how do they get past that. Because, you know, you're right. Sometimes we do hit that wall hard. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. It's like you know all the things that you need to do and you hit the wall and you're like, okay, why am I not climbing or going through it? You know, so take your pick. Either go through or climb. I mean, either one is good.
Hey, you can also go under.
Go under it as well, you know? It's like, get on your belly, crawl through, you know? So, but yeah, sometimes, I mean, we have those blocks and business owners, you know, we're pretty courageous, I think, but we have those same things kind of rolling around in our heads too about like, oh my God, can I do this? You know? And I do in fact find that the problems that I encounter most times they're very simple things to solve for the business owners. They're not huge, expensive things. Mostly the business owner already knows the problems because it's their business, so they already know the problems. And so it's just pointing it out and being there to support them and saying, what do you need? because I can do this over here. We can write the marketing plan for you. We can manage it on a day-to-day, take care of those day-to-day activities for you, you know, and make sure the message goes out consistently. We can even manage all of those floating marketing vendors and bring everyone into a team and work on your brand and your brand message. But I can't help you with your mindset if you're not ready and if you're not there. And so let me refer you along to someone. So the way I work is I really do like having very deep conversations with my business owners. Typically, that's why I prefer to work directly with the owners and the lead decision makers. Oftentimes, we need to have some big conversations, and employees should not be part of it, I think, you know, unless they are a huge part of the organization. And so, you know, as we go through, that's how we find those little deep dives in operational things. Because, you know, listen, for me, it's selfish. It's totally selfish. I admit it. I'm ashamed. I want to keep working with this client for a very, very long time. And the only way to do that is to make sure that it's not just a win for my business, but it's a win for them as well. And so once they're winning, they keep me on for a while because I'm there to support them, you know? So I don't like the quit it and hit it concept, basically. You know, I like to be there for a long term. So, and that's why I like to make sure that they understand marketing and operations is a love story. You know, they do support each other and carry through. And, you know, the real objectives with marketing, by the way, there are 4 strong objectives of why you should be spending marketing dollars. 4 reasons and 4 primary reasons only. There's offshoots of those, but it always comes back to these 4. 1, you want to increase revenue. Absolutely number 1. Number 2, you want to keep the clients that you've worked so hard at getting. You know, you want to keep them in, remind them that you're there, you know, let them know about other services that you have. By the way, also make them your heralds as well, because they will go out and toot that horn and tell everyone how much they love you. And then number 3 is obvious, getting new customers in. Mm-hmm. And then number 4 is ties in all of those. It builds your brand message. Because if you're doing all of those items and doing them well and providing great customer care and great service, it's building that reputation. Take the brand out of it for a second, because I know everyone gets so confused by what that is. It builds your reputation. You know, that thing, that little thing where it's just all about you. And then let's tie that in. The brand is the business, is you, is your employees, is everything that makes that up. The brand reputation, you know, and that's what makes them think about you before they think about your competition. Again, like that horrible store that you may not want to go into. It's like, oh my God, I really want to go in and buy something because it's fantastic, but I just don't want to give them my money because I hate the staff. It's horrible going in.
That's why I pretty much typically stop shopping at a lot of retail stores. I think that
it's true.
Maybe they have been so distracted by trying to like keep up with stuff and do more things online and kind of like left these poor people out to dry that are trying to, you know, sell things in the store. It's just such a weird experience sometimes, because then you get almost like a disparity thing where someone's like, please just buy something. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't really want this. And then that's, you know, and then it's like not a great experience for anybody. The people that are working there, people that, anyway, I don't know, just a side.
No, it's true though. I mean, because I see it, one of my businesses was a retail environment, and we did maternity clothing, which I loved. It was like one of my favorite businesses. I'm like one of, notice it's like, they're all my favorite business, one of. But I find that like working with store owners, and I see this a lot, and if any store owners are listening out there right now, it's this discomfort with training their staff. They're either the tyrant where they go too far, or they're like, well, I'm laid back, I just want them to be themselves. if most times with store owners, they were the ones who started the business by themselves. They were there on day one. They know what the customer likes and how the customer likes to be treated. Just take that template and train your staff on that and just let them know, it's like, but you're right. It's like they might be so kind of twisted, or retail is going through like an odd time right now. I still think retail is awesome because who doesn't like seeing a person and touching something? But they're definitely going through a weird time right now in that business.
It's definitely a phase. I think it'll somehow roll back around and there'll be some sort of more of a relationship in between, strictly e-commerce and stores. I think Amazon's probably trying to do that. Although, there's also the argument of like, well, how many jobs does it really, it creates different kinds of jobs, right? It's not creating the, like, okay, we're going to fill this retail store with a ton of people. It's more like we're going to get a ton of people to get together to be able to make this store work on the back end and not have, actual people like men or women on the ground in there. But
I think you're right about that, Danielle. I know Amazon just purchased, well, not just, but Whole Foods. And that's an environment where it's a little challenging not to have enough staff.
right.
And that's changing because you can self-checkout at Target, right?
Mhm.
You can just have guys in the back stocking out, and then that's it. But I think that's what everyone's kind of, sometimes I joke around. I go into Target with my friends and we have this game called Find a Salesperson. Find the red shirt, it's like it almost becomes a joke now. Macy's is the same thing. You go into these big gorgeous stores, and you're walking around and like, where is the staff? And I think they're definitely going through some changes right now. AI is affecting that, mobile is affecting that, a cost of real estate in all the metropolitans affecting that. But, of course, the sneaky thing is that a lot of these online origin stores, businesses, have been quietly moving into retail, because retail actually did really great numbers in 2017 and is still doing it in 2018 as well. They're doing phenomenal numbers because at the end of the day, we do get tired of being in our houses all the time. Like, you want to go out, right? Even people who think about it, even people who don't like other people, like to go out and make fun of other people while they're getting their stuff.
Or just like be among other people, but not interact with them.
But not interact, like, I'm just too good for them. Look at that dress that she's wearing. Oh my God. And it's like, it's their fun thing. But as human beings, we do like going out and being with other people. And so you can't replace that, but it is completely convenient to do on Amazon, an eBay, it's like, these are very convenient items. So it should be interesting in the next couple of years or so, or even the next couple of months, to see where all of this goes, but definitely I'd love to see what happens with the relationship. Hopefully the people, because I know you made that point, Danielle, I'm hoping the people are still part of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I went to New York and there was this great store, and I'm forgetting the name of the store, but they really made it into such an experience, and I really loved it. And actually, I was reading in the New York Times that FAO Schwartz is making a big comeback, because remember, they had reduced most of their stores.
Yeah.
But that store was always about experience. You went in and you didn't just buy a toy and left. You could actually play with a toy as a kid. They didn't care how long you stayed there, because they knew that it built their brand reputation. Maintaining the old customers bring in new customers, via little short people. And it became a thing. And so a lot of folks are realizing that the experience is going to be a huge part of this, I think, it needs to be fun,
Yeah, absolutely. Experience is always, I think, number one in a lot of marketing aspects, right? I mean, and I guess it's just figuring out, navigating, how you get there, and that kind of ties in,
Yeah, I think experience and personality or culture, like having all of that come through in your marketing and your brand, those are the things that are going to help us really stand apart from each other going forward.
And really, at the end of the day, one of the big things I know that we keep coming back to, especially for the small, mid-sized business owners, which is really squarely my target, it's the staffing portion of it. Salaries are changing. It's getting very competitive, especially if you're in a city environment. How do you keep great, well-trained staff in? I think will be a challenging one as well, because and again, if the business owners, as you guys are listening to this out there, it's going to be so important for you to take the time to really support whoever is in-house to make sure they're trained and they understand your service and your product, because that's going to be a big part of it too. If you don't remember anything from what I tell you today, that would be a simple step in your operation, a simple change that you can make in your operation. Not just training your staff once when they come in, like, this is everything and goodbye, start working. Really make it, take your time and actually do it. Maybe have them shadow you for a while, have them be part of some of the meetings, just so that they understand the way you like your business to be run. That's a huge portion of it, because I'll tell you, it's scary sometimes what happens for a lot of business owners when they're not around and untrained staffs are running their businesses for them. It's not pretty, business to business or the business to customer side. I mean, I've seen both, and it's a little sad. It's like, oh, whenever I see it, I always think to myself, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's like, oh my goodness, I wonder if the business owner knows that this is going on. Actually, I used to do that quite a bit for my business owners. I haven't done it in a while, but I would actually just kind of plain close it, and go in. And of course, they don't know who I am because only the business owner knows. And just go check out the store, the restaurant, the, business to business, just go in and just, as
secret marketing spy.
Exactly. Just because I want to see what I have to work with before I start the business plan,
Yeah.
There was one business a long time ago. It's a catering business. I will not name names. And they were just really a great name around town. But they were having some retention problems. Like, they would do a job once, but the clients would always be so resistant about referring back to them, or people would come in and start a process and they would drop out and go to someone else. And it's like, we just want to figure out, we feel our retention isn't great. Okay, fine. And I'll tell you, all I did was, I'm surprised the business owner never did this, go through Yelp. I went through Yelp and the clients basically named names. It was like, oh my God. They're literally saying, this was a horrible experience with X. This was a wonderful experience with Y. And, this person really messed up our beautiful day or wedding or whatever. And so they were saying it. And I'm like, you don't need me, and you need to read your Yelp reviews.
Yeah. Gotta keep an eye on that stuff.
Thank you. I know who needs to get fired today. And actually I printed them off and I just sat with them, put the digital away. I brought in my favorite little Starbucks, brought it in, sat with them and just went, okay, let's go through this and mark it up and make notes, and had a real proper conversation, because when I come in as a I really want to deep dive out, I am your marketing department and I really want you to succeed. And being around so many business owners myself, and being a serial one myself, when you invest that dollars in marketing, you want it to work. It's, you siphon this off and go, okay, marketing allocation. It's not just there for me to get paid. It's to make sure that you get paid as well. And so I ask questions that maybe, they don't want me to ask, but, I get everything from, I'm about to get a divorce. My partner doesn't know. And I'm worried that she might take the business down. I get everything,
Wow.
Because that will take a business down. You've worked so hard for it. So what should we do? And for those of you who are hearing this going, ooh, I'm going through that situation, I'll share, I'll give you something, which was start bolstering up the content of the business now, because if that person's going to scave you out there and put things out there, you want to equally match them with content as well. So great content, do great things, all of the things that you take for granted. Oh, we gave to this great charity, let's find out about it. Inundate it with content and make that your focus right now until the divorce drama is over, you know? So, and probably share it with your partner. I'm thinking that may be the next best thing to do. So that was one of the ways that we handled that. But yeah, it's marketing is surprisingly very tightly wound to your operation. So for me, I do love to work with business advisors, because that's their area that they're working on. I love working with accountants and bookkeepers, because they're seeing when the operation's kind of wonky, you know, and so that's really helpful for me, because we can really work together to help this client, and I can refer them over as well to let them know, okay, this is what we need to do. What can I do? You know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you know, it's a love story.
I have one last question for you.
Okay.
So what inspires you the most?
What inspires me the most? There are so many things, and I know you said think about it, Paula, really process it. I love badass chicks. I am very inspired by them, and there's so many of them in my family. I mean, my mom, she's a little crazy, but I love this woman. You know, raising 6 kids by herself was a huge thing. Coming to a country at 40 something by herself and never being outside of Jamaica before, and having to do that. You know, when you hear people just coming to a new country and having to restart from scratch all over again, go back to school, build a life, it's a huge thing, because you have to change your whole mindset, your social mindset. So that's a big deal.
That is pretty inspiring.
Totally, you know, it's like, and I just love women who, you know, not divisive, because I know a lot of people think that being a badass girl means that you're like, this person's always in people's faces. I like those folks that everyone looks to. They're very inspiring characters. Both male and female are attracted to them because of what they say. And it's not just a female thing. It's like a person thing. But for so long, women weren't in that like kick-ass role, you know what I mean? And so I love those. Even if I see a movie where they're, you know, showing off these characters, I love it, you know? So I love strong women who are all about their community, not just about themselves, you know, their tribe. Yes, I'm going to be using that word all this week. It's the new word.
You know, just to add quickly onto that, I would suggest that if anyone wants to feel inspired by a badass lady, to Google what Ruth Bader Ginsburg's fitness routine is, because that woman like is way more in shape than me and kicks butt in many other ways every day. I just couldn't believe I saw a video of her. I was like, oh my gosh, I just wish, I hope that I can do that when I'm in my 90s or whatever, you know.
Thank you. Thank you. She's one of my badass girls, by the way, you know. Actually, there's a movie coming out about her. I just saw the coming attraction this weekend as I was, because I went to see Mission Impossible Fallout this weekend. And actually, you know, one of the things I love about the Mission Impossible series is, if you notice, it's not like the James Bond series where girls are like sexualized, you know, but the women in Mission Impossible are always badass chicks. Always, you know, they're always saving. They're you know, they're knowledgeable, they're smart. I love that. And of course, because of that, they're like, let's just put the Ruth Bader Ginsburg promo right in there, because and it was actually, you know, the younger her, whoa, you know, and you know, you ever heard that saying, behind every good man, there's a great woman? Oh my goodness, for her, it was the other way around. Also, for her, she had like a wonderful guy supporting her, so having a great partner behind you, whether you're male or female, is
Yeah.
phenomenal. Just so, yeah, no, I will definitely be watching that movie. So anyone wants to like come with me, I'm going. Let's do a movie.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you to our audience for listening, and thank you for joining us, Paula. You want to let everyone know how to find you?
Oh, check me out at www.powermarketingsf.com, or check me out on Facebook, Paula Mattisonsierra at Facebook, or Power Marketing at Facebook. I do a weekly program where I share a lot from my referral partners, like Nicole has been on the show as well, just sharing tips and tricks and things like that to help you, not just on your life, but your business as well. So check me out, like it. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks so much, guys, for having me on. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great.
That was fantastic. Thank you to our audience for joining the Smack Happy videocast. We aim to help elevate your business through real life experiences and advice.
Until next time, see ya.
Thank you for listening to the Smack Happy Design videocast. For more information and downloads, visit smackhappy.com/videocast, where you'll find more episodes and the opportunity to subscribe on YouTube or iTunes. You can also sign up for our newsletter delivered to your inbox monthly. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Again, that's smackhappy.com/videocast. See you next time.